G'day, this is Captainoob, and this is a TOZ-194, or is it a TOZ-194? I'm not really sure on the naming, on how you'd name this thing, but what I am sure of is this thing is a highly customizable pump-action shotgun type weapon with custom sounds and animations, and bullet reloading counters, so you reload as many bullets, shells as you need to top up this thing's magazine, which is not something that is offered by the game. It's just a mod that you'll have to download on the side, but I do highly recommend grabbing that mod, otherwise you'll be sitting through a full reload every time you want to top up your magazine, which is not time efficient. Anyway, so their customization options goes a little bit like this. You've kind of got the standard lineup of receivers here, going from standard to advanced with calibrated ones if you want to maximize your VAT's potential with critical shots, which is good, but advanced, basically getting better damage is better than getting better damage when you're critting, because you're not always going to be critting 100% of the time. You can extend the range and the accuracy a little bit by chucking on the long barrel at the cost of weight and AP cost per shot, but that's fine. We can make sure we can lower the AP cost per shot a little bit later on. In fact, right now, because you can chuck on some reflex sights, a lot of these are scopes, which is kind of interesting. So what I want to do is what I did with the Sega yesterday. Maybe not that one. That's a little bit too much, I think, but we'll chuck on a scope with the one that utilizes the slugs, but for the, I guess, the standard one here, with firing just the standard rounds, or will we? We'll chuck on this one, because I recognize that one from Battlefield 3 and 4. It's actually my favorite sight to use. It's got a little T crosshair, which is good for aiming, I reckon. And you can chuck a muzzle on this, a suppressor, like the one from Fallout 76. Actually, this one looks slightly better. It probably uses better textures, to be honest. And you can have a muzzle brake to reel in that recoil a little bit, but the thing fires slow enough that that won't be a problem anyway. So if you're going to go with no suppressor, just leave the muzzle off completely. Although you do get slightly better accuracy out of the muzzle brake, so potentially slightly better if you use this thing in VAT. You can chuck a legendary effect on this. It's got a slot for that. We will not be doing that though. You can change what it's on the lower rail. Yeah, we'll do that one first. I missed one, but yeah, you can chuck a foregrip on this, which will actually change your animations, which is nice attention to detail and would have been a pain in the ass to do. So credit to the mod author for putting that together. Now for the magazine, you can make it extended. Now unlike the Fallout 76 pump action shotgun, where you can have a short barrel and a longer barrel, and the magazine size will all be the same, the shotgun shells are stored in the tube. So you want more shotgun shells, just extend the tube, and that's very nice. It goes from 6 to 8. Not a huge increase, but a decent one, something worth having. And you can also change what type of ammo you're shooting at. The only requirement here is having the correct perks in Gun Nut, so you can chuck on Dragon's Breath if you've got Gun Nut 4, Flechettes if you've got Rank 2, and Rank 1 you can chuck in the Slugs, which you'll be using for a scoped variant. It'll be interesting to see whether these things are hit scan, because, you know, I feel like they shouldn't be, because they're just giant hunks of metal and they wouldn't be exactly as aerodynamic as usual bullets. But when you've got access to the buckshot at the Dragon's Breath at Gun Nut Rank 4, you'll see that it does exact same damage as the buckshot, but it'll give you a little bit of fire damage as well, which that's Skyrim flame damage, which isn't coded by normal means to be resisted by energy or ballistic. So basically grab that if you want to use this, but you can also use the Flechettes to punch through a little bit of armor. It does have more projectiles though, so the amount of armor it punches through will probably be less, I guess, significant than what you'd think, but we'll give this a try anyway. If you've got the explosive legendary effect and you're firing more pellets, you can actually increase your damage by quite a bit. But anyways, that's the TOZ-194. We'll create a couple more and we'll go and shoot things. Whoops, missed a few things. You can have a rail on this if you want. It's to mount a laser sight or a flashlight, so that's pretty cool. You can also change the material color. You can have a black, blue, desert, red, rusty, standard, urban, winter, wood, or wood alternate. Pretty cool, right? Also, this thing does 420 damage, so stoners will probably get a kick out of that. Okay, now we're in Gunner's Plaza and we've got the TOZ in first person. Looking down the sights, everything looks very good. Meshes look good, textures look good. The sight is fairly easy and it doesn't get lost too much, although that might be just because of the T design. It takes up a little bit more space. Anyways, so this has got the ACOG scope on it, and also you can hold your breath. You got a little toggle thing. Yeah, this does require the see-through scopes, and I think I'm holding my... There it is. Okay, it's a little bit less responsive than I would have liked. And this one just has the EOTech 552, and it's got the flechettes on it. Flechettes, one of the other. Anyways, let's get started. You'll notice how this thing has very little spread, and it doesn't seem to move around when you're moving, so that's kind of interesting. But the thing about this is that, sure, it's a pump-action shotgun. It's going to do a decent amount of damage per shot. Those shots are going to be fairly far apart. Now, I mentioned the bullet reload counter thing here, and it's actually got like a level of, I guess, realism, a little bit of immersiveness that I did not quite expect from this. If you actually empty the whole thing, you'll do a little thing with the pump-action handle to, you know, to get the next shell loaded. If you don't completely run the mag dry, you'll just reload it like that and you'll be good to go again. So it's like Battlefield 4 mechanics, 3, maybe earlier ones, but if you've got one in the chamber, your reload will be slightly shorter. So that's kind of cool. Hopefully they managed to figure out how to replicate that for all of the firearms in this game, because a tactical reload, well, I guess at least on the mod weapons, because they don't want to jury-rig the vanilla animations already. Good shooting by me. Yeah, you'll find that this thing has, like, it's got basically no spread at all. I can shoot these guys from all the way back here, which, you know, if you've ever fired a shotgun before, you'd probably think is a little bit more realistic than spraying you know, shots in a massive cone in front of you, like shotguns seem to be in the vanilla game. So, yeah, a decently mid-range weapon we've got here. Unfortunately, my sentence forming isn't quite as decent right now. Let's switch over to the suppressed slug thrower here, and we'll just start sniping things. Now, I really am not a fan of any of the... oh, that's helpful. I don't know where that picture frame come from, but now I'm in trouble. Yeah, I don't really like the see-through scopes because it transfers all of that, like, visual recoil that you get normally with a reflex sight, but it's all magnified, so your screen gets thrown around a little bit. Now, I'm not the type of person to find that nauseating. I just kind of like to see where my enemies are as I am shooting them, and we get 503 for headshots without the sneak criticals, which is good. But whilst we've got ourselves in a little bit of a pickle, we're kind of surrounded right now, we might as well bring this bad boy out for VATS and throw some criticals in. Maybe we'll get a view of some of these third-person animations, because I've kind of ignored that thus far. I'm going to find some light to take a look at this thing in third person, but you can see it briefly there. Pause the video if you want to see it. Nah, just kidding. Go for another critical. Looks more like a rifle bullet than a shotgun slug to me, but I'll buy it. Righto, let's switch over to the flechettes now. Keep saying flechettes. Flechettes. Hey, we got a bloody mess proc which killed the both of them. That's kind of rare, but it's cool when you see that happening. A lot of people have noticed that hasn't worked before. They haven't observed it working, but there it is. And by a lot of people, many a true nerd said it didn't work, but no, you just kind of have to be close enough to the exploding player, because it kind of casts out a little bit of damage or a little bit of a stagger. Nice. Cheeky little, I guess, ricochet there. Nah, you get a critical because I don't like you. I think you look a lot better without your face, yes. And we'll reload as we're coming up here. Oh, it's a shotgun battle for the ages. Now, the good thing about this thing, although it's got a slow rate of fire, we seem to be consistently staggering, which means little Miss Legendary Gunner over here isn't going to get any shots off with her shotgun. That's a Sega. You had your time yesterday, Sega. Move on. Let the other shotguns have their go. Righto, so we're almost done here. We've probably already killed this turret. Yes, we have. But, yes, take a look at this thing in third person, because I neglected to do that earlier. And here it is. You notice how you'll hold the foregrip differently. And without the foregrip, you hold it like that. Some really good attention to detail. I'll tell you what, these Fallout 4 weapon modders are getting better by the day. There's always some new cool shit that I'm finding about this. Anyways, let's move on. We'll just snipe stuff. Alrighty then. So it looks like Swan's got a bunch of friends around him. It doesn't usually spawn with super mutant friends, but, well, I guess there's a first time for everything. There we go. So it appears that the slug throwers are hit scan still. Is he friendly? Well, okay, well that's good. Means I can take out these guys without him being aggroed to me. And if we can get a cheeky little headshot with him, we seem to be able to kill these guys in a single shot, which is nice. There's just a random ghoul over there who aggroed the super mutants. And we might as well just take a couple of bat shots here. Or just one of them, don't need more than that. And we'll switch to third person so you can observe some of the animations and what they look like in third person. We're about to get detected, aren't we? Nope. Well, there you go. Perks of having super high agility and a good sneak skill, I'll tell you that much. Now, whether this thing works with snipers, we'll try to find out right now. Now, being a see-through scope, you wouldn't expect it because it's not going to the the TV view of regular scopes to get that, but totally compatible, which is a good thing, and which makes shotguns surprisingly good snipers in this game, especially when they've got multiple pellets firing every shot because it's per projectile, right? So if you've got maybe flechettes with this thing with a scope and you just snipe something at range, it'll fall over pretty easily, which probably doesn't make a lot of sense, but it's kind of a weird oversight. But I guess it's sort of a... Come on, Bridget, reload. There you go. Probably a problem of the fact that the shotguns, whilst in semi-auto form, are spec'd from riflemen. Definitely didn't kill it as fast as the Sega, but, you know, maybe it was a little bit more interesting to watch whilst I almost got detected there, but... Yeah, a fairly cruisy run here. We'll move on to something else, I suppose. Okay, we've switched to daylight hours now, and just in case you didn't get a view of what this thing looks like earlier in Gunner's Plaza, that's what it looks like. And if I switch over to the scoped one, and this one, I think it's a very aesthetically pleasing weapon, and it's just a little bit unfortunate that you can't put a stock on it, but I guess it adds to the uniqueness about it. You could look at it that way, I suppose. Anyways, our target over there is this giant ghoul. So what I might do just to start off, and we won't be cheesing this with a suppressor like usual. We've kind of got him aggroed already. I wanted to sneak in nice and close and give him a sneak critical, but that's criticals manually activated. We'll probably have to do. And as he comes a little bit closer, we'll get slightly better damage on him. And we've forgotten to reload. Probably want to reload this thing. He's moving quite slow in VATS because we get that extra reload speed. And we're kind of out of AP right now, so we'll try to not sprint for a little bit now and try to desperately get a stagger on this guy just to hold him back that little bit extra. He's diving in. We'll just go for some VATS defense here. He's actually pushed us into the water, which may be able to use to my advantage in a second. But yes, point blank range with the Dragon's Breath, 85 damage a shot. We'll keep that in mind because we're about to switch to the flechettes, one of the other. And then dive, Bridget, dive. Switch over to the flechettes now and resurface when he's decided to run away. And he's distracted on the bloat flies now, so we might as well push the advantage again. And crit him in the face. 79 damage. So the additional projectiles kind of hold us back there. You have to pause and see what kind of numbers are coming out of his head, then compare screenshots. We've also got the mysterious stranger there who showed up and did nothing. That's kind of standard, but we have to kind of submarine this right now because there's not a lot we can do otherwise. I was hoping for a Grim Reaper sprint proc there for an extra critical, but that's okay. And since he's so far away, we might as well just start sniping at him. He seems to have been aggroed by something else over there. Not sure if it was me hitting it or not. Anyways, we'll wait for him to come nice and close. Probably as far as he's going to get, and we'll blast him with a critical. Sneak attack? No, it wasn't. Not quite. Bats was telling me that it was, so I feel a little bit cock-blocked by that. We're almost there, though. Haven't taken a hit just yet. I believe Scrounger procced there and was able to gain all of the shells that we fired. Again, go for some criticals here. Now that he's nice and close. And hope that we've got enough. Ooh. Okay, that was a perfect time to exit VATS because we're going straight for a swim again. And just like that, they've forgotten my existence. Yeah, this thing's kind of struggling a little bit against this ghoul. The reason I killed Swan so quickly was obviously because I was able to use sneak criticals and sniper, but yeah, without those you're going to struggle against monsters like this. But that's okay because, well, these things aren't of the vanilla game, and unless you want to download this mod for yourself to, you know, test your weapons metal or maybe your build's metal, you don't need to deal with these things like this. I just like to use these as to extrapolate what a weapon's performance can be, because a lot of the times they can be powerful and you can't really put that into a decent demonstration. He's still alive? Nope, that's it for him. And we'll finish off with some classic dual shotgunning. There we go, nice and satisfying way to end that. And double tap. Yep, he's dead. Righto, so I think I'm going to cut the video there because you get the idea. It does struggle a little bit, but then, like again, like I was saying, like those things don't exist in the vanilla game, so I mean, stuff like Milo Queens and Deathclaw, Mythic Deathclaws, and Super Mutant Behemoths, the biggest stuff that you'd be fighting in the vanilla game, no problem at all. You could easily win with this thing, but yeah, it's a little bit underpowered compared to the Sega, which I used yesterday, but in turn, slightly more balanced too. So I think you'll find this to be a slightly more balanced experience if you intend to use this thing and not be super overpowered. But if you'd like to see this thing in your game, check out the link in the description. There's a couple more other things down there, like a loot crate link. If you buy a loot crate, they send me another one and they give me money. And you know what money does? It helps me buy a car. Thank you for watching, guys.